So now we're going to talk about methods or functions. Okay. So a method is an enclosed group of statements that perform an operation. So with methods, we can do a lot of things. We can pass in parameters. We can return something back to us. And the good news is we have been using methods all along. You just didn't know it. Or I just didn't want to tell you that you were using method. So for instance, this here, as you can see here, I created a class. I went ahead and created a new project, called it method. So I suggest you do the same. And I named the class methods. Okay. But look here, it says public static void main. Right? So this is a method. This is how a method looks like. Okay, and you notice we have public static void, and then we have the name of the method, and of course these are parameters, so things that we can pass in inside of our method, and we'll talk about that. And then we have an enclosed group of statements. Well, there's no statements now, but this is where you put all of the code. Right, so our main method here, every Java program has to have a main method, only one. This is the entry point, okay? And you may ask, so how do I create my own, right? Well, very simply, we can create our own, say public static void show name. Okay, so that would be the name of our method. Of course, we have to have our braces. There we go. So now we have a method we call show name. That is the syntax, okay? So inside here, this is where we can put our code block. We can say system.out.println. We can say my name is Paulo. Save that, okay? Once we save, let's run. Well, we have the method and everything, but nothing is happening. What's the problem? Turns out we actually have to go back into our main entry point here in Java, right? That's where we need to call our method. And how do we call our method? Well, we have a name. We just say show, and you can see right away we have show name. Go enter, and there we go. So if we save it and run, we should see my name is Paulo. So we can also pass parameters. We can pass data into our methods, so that way they can do work and then give us the result, right? Let's say if we actually wanted to be able to pass a string here, a name that when passed, we can then take that string, right, and put and display it here instead of us directly having to put my name Paulo. What if we want to put any string and then it will display that name as we put it? So what we can say string and say name, for instance. Now we notice there's a problem if you have over in our show name method. It says, well, you have arguments, so we need to match. So the moment we put a parameter or argument inside of our show name function here, we have to honor that contract by actually putting something here. So let's go, if I put Paulo, right, because Paulo is a string, and here, instead of hard coding the Paulo, we can just append this name here. So we can put name. Now, if we run this, we're going to see the same thing. But the difference here is that we didn't have to hard code Paulo here, right? Because now we can put Anthony and save and run. My name is Anthony, right? We can even, if we want it to be a little bit fancier, we can actually go ahead and ask the user to enter any name, right? And then we can display it. So we can say scanner is equal new scanner system.in. Okay, we've seen that before. This object here will allow us to scan things, and then we can create and let's go ahead and create a variable, a string variable, say string my name. Let's make it empty, right? So there's nothing in that string. And then we can say system.out.println, enter your name Okay. So now we can take whatever the user entered and put in our my name string here. So we can say my name is equal scanner.next. Okay. Next string there. And so whatever they've entered, it's going to be in my name now, which now we can actually use it to pass inside of my name, inside of show name method. Okay, so again, let's go back. So here we're creating this class, this object called scanner, which is responsible for retrieving, scanning, getting input from users. Okay, and then we are saying system.out. User will see to prompt the users to enter their name. And of course, we have here our string, empty string, my name variable, which then we pass whatever users have entered into my name. And then we take that because we'll have something, a name, and then we pass that as our string here in our show name method. Okay, so now if we save this and run, it's going to say enter a name. You say Paulo, hit enter, and it's look, my name is Paulo. And of course here, let's go say scanner.close, because we need to close every time scanner is open. Okay, let's run again. Let's see, Anthony, enter, my name is Anthony. Okay, let's run again. Let's see what name we want to put. Let's see, George, enter, my name is George. Okay, perfect. So that's very, very useful. Okay, so you can see the power of passing parameters. The other thing we can do, we can create another method here. Let's say public static void add numbers. Okay, now if we want this method to be able to add numbers, two numbers for instance, we can say int a and then int b. Okay, and then we can say system.out.print, we can say a plus b, just like that. Okay, so now if we go here, let's go ahead and call here, let's say add numbers. Let's put 4 and 6. If we save this and we run, of course it's running our previous one. Let's say Paulo, and it says my name is Paulo 10, because 4 plus 6 is 10. Now let's comment this out so we're not confused. Let's just make sure the only function that runs is this one here. Let's save again, let's run, and let's go ahead and comment this out as well. And there we go, it says 10. Okay, let's change this number here to perhaps 6 and see if this actually holds true. Run again, and we should see 12. So we were able to create two functions, add numbers and show name, and we went further and we learned about passing in parameters, meaning that we were able to pass in data or variables in which that we can pass as parameters and then use inside of our code, our enclosed group statements here, which makes up our method, our function. Okay, so in the next video we will continue talking about functions, and till then go ahead and play around with this concept here, and I'll see you next.